Welcome everybody to the Joy of Business in Paris, France. How does it get any better than this? And welcome everybody on live stream wherever you are in the world. We're bringing you to Paris. So tonight we have, this is the official launch of the Joy of Business book in French, which we have here, La Joie du Business. Very exciting because it actually just arrived yesterday, just in time. So I'm going to give you a bit of a background of Joy of Business. You guys can ask some questions, and we're here for about an hour, okay? And it's like, what can we change tonight? What can we contribute to each other with the Joy of Business and with the tools of access consciousness? Just in case, my name is Simone Milasas. Worldwide Coordinator of Access Consciousness, lover of business for many, many years, ever since I knew even how to say the word. I think the first thing that I was taught as a kid, we used to say that the first sentence that came out of our mouths was, "Can I have a receipt, please?" Because that's what my dad taught us to say. He was like, it's better to get more receipts and not use them than not get the receipts at all. I was like, okay, cool. But one of the things that I was sort of introduced to, even as a kid, is that to me, business is one of the most creative things in the world. You can create anything with a business. You can have any type of business. You can be an artist. You can own a retail shop. You can, be in commercial business, corporate business, real estate, anything. And it's all about the choices that you make that create a greater possibility, is basically the way I look at it. Now, just a little bit of a background story. Is many years ago when I was working with Gary Douglas, the founder of Access Consciousness, for anyone who's here, I know there's a few people here who haven't been to a class before, and I was having a conversation with him about something that somebody was choosing. And it didn't make any sense to me, and I said, why would they choose this? And he said, what do you mean, why would they choose it? I said, well, there's no joy in it, and this is business, and business is joyful. And he looked at me and he was like, no, it's not. And I was like, yes, it is. Why would you do business if you didn't enjoy it? And he said, Simone, that's your reality. That's not this reality. And I stood there in front of him, like one of those little dogs that's confused with my head on the side going, what? So I was like, why would anyone do it if you didn't love it? So that was the first moment where I didn't truly believe him. I do owe him lots of dollars because I was like, surely people don't do business and hate it. Surely people aren't in a job and they don't like it. That can't be possible, is it? But you know what? I found out it is. And I remember years later, a friend of mine, I was out in a bar one Saturday night and he said, Simone, I've known you for so many years, and he said, you make me sick how much job satisfaction you get, no matter what you're doing. And I was like, but why wouldn't you? So for me, it's like, if you're not doing what you love, why not? What would you truly like to be creating? What would you truly like to be doing that could actually bring you money, that could create greater possibilities that you're currently not choosing? What have you decided is inconceivable about business? What have you decided is inconceivable about those 3 words, joy of business? Now, the book is translated into 9 languages, and we've got a few more languages on its way, Chinese, Japanese, Dutch. And one of the things I've noticed is every single translator, we always have a problem with how do we translate joy of business. It's not just one language, and they all think it's their language. It's not. And it's like every single language goes, we don't know what to say here. That's not in our language. We can't translate that. It's not translatable. So what if joy of business wasn't translatable in this reality, yet you could create it in your reality to be translatable? You could actually be a joy of business. And everything that is and everything that doesn't allow that to show up, we destroy and uncreate it. Right and wrong, good and bad, pock and pot, orna, in shorts, boys and beyonds. It's always interesting when you do a class with translators. It takes you a few minutes to get used to it. Because Susie said to me, you have to listen to this. And she's got these earphones over there today where you can literally hear Gary and you can hear every single translator, and it just sounds like someone's crazy head, just like going, yeah, it's quite amazing. Moira, you picked up on it. So it's because you see these people walking around like this. It's like, it's interesting. And I'm very, very grateful for them. I think it's a phenomenal job that they do, and I wouldn't be able to do it. But how many times do you look at somebody else who's doing a job or doing something like that, and then you think, oh, I would never be able to do that, but then you forget to look at the capacities that you have? What do you find really easy that you think has no value, that you could make money from? What if that was your joy of business? And everything that doesn't allow you to acknowledge that and perceive, know, be, and receive it, will you destroy and uncreate it? Right and wrong, good and bad, POC and POD, all night, shorts, boys and beyonds. So is there anything in particular that you guys would like to talk about tonight? I know a lot of you have read the book, even though I know it just came out yesterday in French. But it's like there's so many topics that we can cover as well. So if there's anything in particular that you would like to talk about, please grab a microphone and raise your hand and ask questions. I will tend to just keep speaking because I do that really well. And it's like questions are imperative to create something different, okay? So anything that's going on for you guys, I can guarantee you that the person sitting next to you or behind you or in front of you is really grateful when you actually ask a question, because they think, one of the things I find in business is that people think they have to know everything. You don't have to know everything, okay? You don't have to do it all yourself, and you don't have to know everything. What you have to do is have the ability to ask questions, the ability to change, the ability to lose everything, and it's like, and the willingness to be wrong. It's like the ability and the willingness to choose something different. And one of the things I always do is when I talk to someone who's in a certain business that I don't know anything about, I'm more intrigued. I'm like, oh wow, how did you do that? How does that work? What happens here? Who do you just talk to? And blah, blah, blah. Because it's like you don't have to know everything. Okay? So everywhere that you've decided that you can't be in business or you can't be successful in business because you have to know everything rather than just simply ask a question, will you destroy and uncreate it? Right and wrong, good and bad, POC and POD, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. Yes. Italian.
Sì, buonasera Simone.
Buonasera.
Senti, ti volevo chiedere, ho visto fuori nel volantino che pubblicizza 101 business e 102, volevo chiedere la differenza.
I seen in the flyer outside Business 101 and Business 102, and I wondered what's the difference?
Sure. So Business 101 is called. It's a class that I do. This is not even staged. We're now promoting my classes. Business 101 is a one-day class, and it's called Business Done Different. And it's basically using a lot of the Access Consciousness tools to take you through what I would call is sort of like those first initial steps to totally change your point of view around business. You may have heard of these tools before, and yet have you used them in business, or have you only used them in places that you felt quote-unquote comfortable in? The 102, Joy Business 102, it's actually called the Adventure of Business and Living. And it's a 2-day class. You get manuals in the classes as well. But the whole idea is, what I say is we sort of get more down and dirty with the whole 2 days. And it's like lots of stuff about money, about business, about your points of view, creation. There's a whole big section on creation. And it's sort of taking everything that you thought you could create to a completely different level. So it's 3-day classes is what we usually do. And there are JCFs around the world, especially in Europe. And we do have Joy Business training this year in June as well, if you're interested. So there you go, there's my little marketing advertising.
Ti ringrazio. Uno può partecipare anche a tutte e due contemporaneamente, cioè per il primo giorno e i secondi 2 giorni, sì. Sì.
Yeah. And can I participate to both of them, the first days and then the days after?
O sono 2...
Or are those two?
Si può partecipare solo il numero 2, cioè capito come? Se sono appiccicati o se
Oh,
sono...
all right. Can you participate to one class and then to the others, yes or no, or do you need to do them together as a...
No, you don't need to do them together. Good. But you have to do 101 before you do 102. Yeah. But you can do 101 with another facilitator, 102 with another facilitator. So, easy.
Perfetto, ti ringrazio. Senti, vorrei fare ora una domanda che mi riguarda personalmente, che è questa. Io, diciamo, lavoro insomma, nel business di quella che è la mia famiglia e seguo un po' più, cioè mi piace seguire un po' più la parte creativa, eccetera.
That's a personal question about my business. I have a family business and I like to follow the creative part of it.
Sorry, hang on. You have a what business?
A family
Family.
business.
Thank you. Yeah.
E diciamo mi sono ricavato uno spazio in quello che mi diverte, che è diciamo creare un po' cose nuove, disegni nuovi, e quando riesco a fare quello magari anche il business cresce.
And I made myself a little place so I can invent new designs and new things. And when that happens, my business can grow.
Avevo una persona, diciamo, che poi seguiva l'istituzione di quello che io creavo, nel senso io lo creavo e poi magari se venivano queste cose da fare c'era questa persona che seguiva un attimo l'andamento all'interno dell'azienda per le consegne delle cose che erano richieste.
So I was creating and I had someone following up with my creation, bringing them to actualization and instituting them in the industry, in the place where I were.
Poi per una scelta di questa persona, lei era una ragazza, è andata via, diciamo, anche senza dare del tempo per la sostituzione, eccetera, di lei.
And then she kind of flew away. She left the job and hasn't given us any time to replace her. She just quit.
E così ho anche scelto, diciamo, di seguire la parte dell'istituzione perché non avevo voglia di fermare un'altra persona. In questa maniera praticamente tutto quello che stava salendo ora sta tranquillamente scendendo.
So I've been doing her work because I was not willing to seek for someone else to do this, and where my business have been growing is now.
Sta scendendo perché mi sta annoiando tantissimo anche su questa cosa dell'istituzione. C'è qualche domanda che potrei fare per sbloccarmi un attimo?
And I'm getting really bored in this part too, so I wonder if there is any question I can make to unlock this.
Okay, so I was just wondering where the question was, but now we have a question, sort of, roundabout way. But what we do have is a lot of conclusions. And it's and a lot of decisions. And the first thing is, if someone quits, I'm going to make this generic because it's a short class tonight and I want to make sure that everybody gets some tools out of this. So one of the first things, if someone quits, instead of what I would ask is, because the energy seemed to change when you were talking, is what did you decide? What if someone quit, it was great, even though maybe you think you're relying on them, but it's excellent, what's right about this I'm not getting? Now what can I create? And it's and the second part, so what did you decide when she quit? Did you decide that the business couldn't work, that you'd have to do it all, you don't want to do it all, and it's that you'd never be able to get somebody else in, you don't have time, and it's you have to train someone, all these decisions that you come up with, all of you, about why you don't actually create something more. And the second thing I would be asking too is, Truth, do you actually want to do the business?
Non troppo. Cioè mi piace solo, come posso dire, aggiungere, creare nuove, non mi piace seguirlo, capito? Mi piace solo aggiungere, magari andare da cliente, aggiungere nuove cose, poi tutto quello che è seguire dipendenti, fai questo, fa quello, prima questo, prima quello, no, non mi piace.
I like to create and I like to add new things, but I do not like the follow-up.
Okay, so why don't you get somebody else in? So what do you love about your story?
Nice question.
Because now you have the poor, poor, pitiful, my business is not doing well because of A, B, C, D, E. And how many of you have that? And everything that is times a gazillion. Would you be willing to give up your story of how desolate your business is? Really? Destroy and uncreate it? All of you? Right and wrong, good and bad, pock and pot, all night, shorts, boys and beyonds. What if tomorrow you woke up and you went, wow, I have the greatest business in the world. Everything is like, everything, what if everything occurred and every time you asked a question? I mean, tonight, it was funny, Joy Business, we're up here. We've known this class is on for a long time. We didn't have the translators, we didn't tell the live stream team that we had it on, we didn't have it up on the Joy Business channel, there's all these sort of things. What do? Okay, cool, now what do we got to choose? And I was like, hey, translators, come up and see me, I'll organise it, I'll talk to Susie, we'll do all this, girls were over there doing this, and it's like, you just start to put things into action. But what we could have done is gone, oh my God, this is an absolute mess, nothing's done, nothing's organised, and get grumpy and cranky and decide that it's terrible. But it's not. So how many of you decided that your business isn't working when it actually is? You just need to add something else. And it's interesting too, because I was talking to someone outside and they were talking about how scared they were to do something. It's like, you're not scared. What if you just made a choice? What if you just made a demand? What if you stopped using the words, I hope that this shows up, or I don't have the money right now, but I'm asking for it. And it's like, you know what, you need to demand that things change. You need to demand that you actually create something more. And it's like, okay, cool, so this woman left. Now what do I like doing? Okay, I like doing this, this, and this, but I can do all the other things as well. But I'd actually like to ask somebody else to show up. So who or what else can I add to my business?
Ti ringrazio, mi è venuta anche la domanda quanto questo è mio e quanto anche questo è, diciamo, un po' anche l'aspettativa, come posso dire, indotto anche dalle, cioè anche quanto è mio e quanto è anche comunque di casa mia o delle persone che sono di questo.
Thank you so much. And what comes up for me is how much this is induced by everyone in my family and everyone around me.
Well, are you trying to do business like other people? How many of you are trying to do business like everybody else tells you that it should be done, rather than actually following what you know? I mean, one of the first things I did when I started a business that I was importing goods from overseas and wholesaling them and retailing them, doing all this sort of stuff, I sat down with my father, who was an accountant, and my brother also, who had been to business school, an accountant, etc. And they said to me, well, you've chosen a business that's going to take some long hours, you know, it'd be a lot of time, you know, lots of money, blah, 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 all these sort of things. And I remember sitting there thinking, I know I can do business different. And it wasn't to me about the hours. Like I was like, I'm willing to put the hard work in, but it didn't have to be this reality. It didn't have to make it hard, make the struggle. And it's like, or make it the, you know, how many years are you supposed to work at your business before you're allowed to be successful? This reality says about 7. And it's like, why? And it's like, so how many of you are buying into other people's realities with business rather than, what do you know? If you were creating your business based on your knowing, what would you choose? What would you create? What would you change? Like, you all know something. You do not have to have a business degree. All you have to have is the willingness to actually create, and you can just start now. Or would you like to start? I mean, you watch a kid, you know, a kid will make mud pies or snow pies, wherever you are, whatever part of the world, make mud pies and sell them. They don't have a point of view of what they look like or how many they have. Do they have enough stock? Do they have a website up? Do they have a flyer? You know, it's like, what do they have? They just create their business. So where did you lose the capacity just to create your business? And everything at that is times a godzillion, we destroy and uncreate it. Right and wrong, good and bad, pock and pot, all 9 shorts, boys and beyonds. I'm sorry, if you have a family in here that's really supportive and tells you that you can be everything that you would like to be and even go beyond that, then that's awesome. But I can pretty much guarantee you that most of you don't have that. They have a family who goes, you know what, you should play it a little bit safe, or you know, get a good safe job, and it's like, get your savings account, you know, don't be things too wild. You know, it's like, oh, do you really think that you can do that? It's a bit risky, isn't it? And it's like, I mean, how many people have a family who actually encourage them to be everything that they be? And then we listen to them and go, oh, that's how I'll create my business. Yep. You? No. So everything that is times a godzillion, where you destroy and uncreate it. All right and wrong, good and bad, pock and pot, all 9 shorts, boys and beyonds. Okay. So if you were creating your business, what would you choose? Would you be willing to? Would you be willing to even give it a shot? So right now, first thing, and this is the first tool that we use in the Joy Business 101 class, Business Done Different, is destroy and uncreate your relationship with your business. Now, I know a lot of you have heard this tool before, but do you actually do it? Every day. Destroy and uncreate your relationship with your business, who you work with, your money. Like, do you have an outlet like bricks and mortar? Destroy and uncreate the relationship with that, with your website, with your flyer, with everything. The name of your business, everything you've decided you have right about your business, and everything that you've decided you have wrong about your business. Destroy and uncreate it all. Everything at that is times of God's and right and wrong, good and bad, pock and pot, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. You have to be willing to let go of everything and everyone. Keeps you on the creative edge, okay? Destroying and uncreating your relationship with your business doesn't mean that it's like now you don't have it. And it's like, but you start to destroy and uncreate your points of view, your limitations, the judgments, everything that's been projected upon you about how it should be done, how you should be in business. What if you didn't have that? And what if you were on the creative edge? What would that look like?
Ti ringrazio. Non ti voglio prendere altro tempo. Grazie di cuore comunque.
Thank you from the bottom of my heart.
You're welcome. Did someone else have a question around here? Yeah.
Oui, bonjour.
Oui, bonjour.
Buongiorno.
Bonsoir. J'ai commencé à faire du business, j'avais 35 ans.
I started a business at 35 years old.
Et
Did you say you started a business when you were 5 years old?
35.
35. I was going to go, well done, 5 years old and still going. Excellent.
Et j'ai travaillé très fort pendant 2 ans et j'ai été obligée d'arrêter parce que j'ai pas réussi malgré l'enthousiasme que je pouvais avoir et la certitude que c'était vraiment génial.
And I had to stop because after 2 years, because I didn't have the feeling that it was something genius.
To start with,
Where is
after...
it?
Where's the translator?
Yeah, here I am,
Oh,
but
yeah,
I
cool.
didn't hear her.
Je peux répéter? J'ai travaillé pendant 2 ans, 70 heures par semaine, parce que je trouvais que j'étais très enthousiaste sur mon projet. Et c'était travailler dans les entreprises pour la gestion des systèmes de croyances.
Yeah, she worked for 2 years very hard, and it was in a company that had belief systems, but metaphysical.
Je continue.
Yes.
Okay, so I just want to get this clear because
Yeah,
of the translation thing. So what I have is she started a business at 35 years.
Yes.
And but then she also works in a company that has sort of, what I'm getting is like fixed points of view.
Here, attends, je mets sur-
J'ai créé-
J'ai pas compris. Vas-y, continue.
J'ai créé mon entreprise pour travailler avec les entreprises sur les systèmes de croyances, les freins, les jugements, les conclusions.
Okay, the company that she created was to work with other companies on belief systems.
Okay, you need to speak right into your mic.
Okay,
because
on
other people
belief
need to
systems.
translate. Perfect.
J'étais obligée d'arrêter parce que ça n'a pas fonctionné malgré mon enthousiasme.
I had to stop because even being so enthusiastic, it didn't work.
Et j'ai déménagé et quelques années plus tard, j'ai recommencé
I moved, and then a couple of years later, I started back
à travailler pour moi, à mon propre compte,
to work by myself on creating a company.
toujours
Sorry,
avec
I
beaucoup-
didn't hear that. Like, you got to...
And she started back alone,
Alone.
working
And what
back
was the second
as
part?
freelance. She started the company back again 2 years afterwards
Okay.
when she moved.
toujours avec beaucoup d'enthousiasme.
Always very enthusiastic.
Et ça n'a pas marché non plus. Et je répète maintenant ça très régulièrement. Je commence quelque chose avec beaucoup d'enthousiasme, j'y crois, et après ça ne marche pas.
And it didn't work either. And what happens is I'm creating the same thing over and over again. I create something, I'm very enthusiastic, and then it doesn't work.
So now j'ai encore beaucoup d'idées,
Now I'm full of ideas,
j'ai encore beaucoup d'enthousiasme,
a lot of enthusiasm,
mais je n'ai plus confiance.
but I don't trust anything.
But say that again.
I'm not trusting anything anymore. I don't trust.
Okay. Do you have a question?
Tu as une question?
J'imagine que ton cours de 3 jours
I imagine that your class of 3 days
va me permettre de clarifier cela.
is going to allow me to clarify all this.
Sure, if you're up for it, if you're willing to receive it, yes. And it's like, but the one thing I would say is so many people, you've got no idea how many people send me an email or come up to a class like tomorrow, you're all not going to do it now, you'll be too scared. At the end of Choice of Possibilities with Gary, come up and go, oh Simone, I just had a quick question. Blah, 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 about solve my business. And I'm like, seriously? You chose now at the end of 3 days to come up and say this? And it's like, please don't be afraid to come up and ask me questions. It's okay. What I'm asking is, do you actually truly desire change if you're coming up at the end of 3 days to grab me while I'm coming out of the bathroom to change your entire business and change everything you've ever decided? And it's like, yes, like I said, we get down and dirty. We can go through all of your businesses. We can talk about business, money, your choices, destroy and uncreate the decisions you've made, the limitations. We will look at all of that. But what it comes down to is your choice. I mean, like we always talk about in Access Consciousness as well, you can POC and pod. You can POC and pod all the time, and it works. The processes in the clearing statement works, but what the ultimate thing you have is choice. It's like how many of you are choosing to be stuck in your story about business and money rather than actually choosing the enthusiasm 24/7, which you talk about, that you actually, that's you. It's like, what if you chose that? What would you create? And everything at that is times a godzillion, where you destroy and uncreate it. Right and wrong, good and bad, POC and pod, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. Your enthusiasm can create anything. And most of the time when we get so enthusiastic, people try and put us down, this reality puts us down. I mean, as a kid, and it's like, how many times were you just like, wah! And it's like, and then someone's like, you know, shh, stop. You know, don't ask questions, you need to be quiet, shh, you need to be like this. And you're like, really? Wow, I was so excited and so enthusiastic about life. And then it just sort of got, you know, punched out of you. And it's like, how many of you are actually enthusiastic about creating, about business, about money? And it's like, yet you've decided, excellent, yet you've decided that you have to be the same as everybody else. So how many of you are trying to be normal, average and real like everybody else and have your stories of complaints, have your stories that you can tell that creates the trauma and drama, rather than, if I was creating my reality today, what would I choose? If I was creating my business today, what would I choose? And it's like, when you're enthusiastic about business, it's like, what, do you have more of a sense of you?
Oui.
So it's like, for what reason would you give that up? Like all of you. What if you made more valuable and vital that you would give up that sense of you being you, of that enthusiasm?
Je suis prudente.
I'm prudent. I go slow, careful.
I go slow,
I'm careful.
I'm careful.
Yeah.
Parce que les résultats...
Are you really careful? Truth?
Oui. Oui.
Yes.
Vérité. Sûr.
I'm not sure I believe
Je vais
you.
te dire... Je
Are
vais
you
te dire
pretending
pourquoi.
to be careful?
Je vais te dire pourquoi, oui. Parce que,
Yeah, translate. What did she say?
She said yes. I'm going to tell you why.
parce que les résultats...
Oh, we have a why. Good. We have a why. Excellent. Tell me why you're careful.
Parce que je crois que certaines choses marchent.
Because I think that some things work.
Les choses que je propose marchent. Par exemple, même à Access, je suis convaincue que ça marche. Mais les résultats ne dépendent pas de moi.
But some things work, like I do Access and it works very well, but some things don't work.
Et je ne peux rien promettre.
And I cannot promise anything.
Okay, so let me stop here. And is it true that some things don't work, or do they just not turn out according to what you think they should? Control freaks of the world. How many of you are control freak? Thank you for raising your hand. All the others that didn't, you're lying. You are control freaks of the universe. What would happen if you were willing to get to be out of control? Now let me ask you a question. I really want you guys to have a look at this, okay? Because you're saying you're careful. How many of you have decided that you have to be careful, that you have to tiptoe through the business world rather than storm through it? This is what I demand, this is what I'm doing, this is what I'm choosing, this is the way it's going to be, okay? And it's like whatever that energy is, and it's like, have you, I mean, is there anything you've ever chosen, anything, that's turned out worse? Or did it just not look like you thought it was going to look like? Every single thing that happens, if you have a look at it, you have way more information. Way more information. And it's not about a judgeable offense. You are not a judgeable offense. You are not wrong. You've never been wrong, not even in business, not even with money, okay? You have a free ticket out of here. You're not wrong. Nothing you've chosen is a judgeable offense. So if you function from that space, that energy space and consciousness, it's like, what would you choose? Would you actually truly be careful? Or are you trying to be careful so, like I said before, you look the same as everybody else? Because you don't want to take too much of a risk, which you take a risk every day.
Je prends des risques.
Yeah, I'm taking risk.
Okay.
Mais les résultats, il y a plein de choses qui disent. Je ne vends pas des cacahuètes.
But results are not there. I'm not making peanuts.
Non, je ne vends pas des
Yeah,
cacahuètes.
I'm not selling peanuts.
Okay, I didn't.
je
What's the
vends-
first? Sorry, hang on one
No.
second. What was
She
the
said
first
I'm
part?
taking risk.
Oh, and taking risks.
Yes,
And
but I'm not selling
peanuts.
peanuts.
Okay, I didn't understand the humor of that, but anyway. Yes, okay, not selling.
Et par exemple, quand-
Same thing.
si on prend juste quelque chose
Yeah.
qu'on connaît tous, une séance d'access, une séance de bar, on ne sait jamais le résultat que ça va avoir. Donc moi, je le fais parce que je sais qu'il va se passer quelque chose, mais le résultat ne dépend pas de moi.
When I'm doing bars, I know that it works. I don't know why, but the results not depend on me.
Et il y a des personnes qui ne reconnaissent pas ce qui s'est passé, alors que visiblement il s'est passé quelque chose, ou alors qui vont résister.
And some people do not recognize what's happening. Some people have no idea of what's happening when I do the bars.
Et je suis peut-être fragile par rapport à ça.
And I'm fragile with that. I'm prudent, careful.
So how are you careful with it? You're running bars. Is it because you are vested in the outcome
Quand
of
je-
what their point of view is?
Si je ne croyais pas dans les bars, je ne les donnerais pas.
If I didn't believe in the bars, I wouldn't be doing them.
Okay, so I'm a little bit confused because why are you, like you're saying you're running bars but everybody doesn't get the same sort of thing that shows up, but you're a bit careful of that. And it's like, but you're running bars. I'm a little, like, I don't know if the translation is not going well, like if the careful translation, it's like,
Je pourrais dire,
is there a problem?
Yeah.
Mais c'est un problème avec les bars, mais avec d'autres produits aussi.
It's a problem with the bars and other products as well.
But what's the problem?
Je suis convaincue et je suis enthousiaste,
I'm convinced and I'm enthusiastic,
mais je ne le dis pas avec l'enthousiasme que j'ai,
but I do not say it with the enthusiasm that I have,
parce que je ne peux rien promettre.
because I can't promise anything.
Because I came from what?
Promise anything. I cannot promise results.
Is anyone else following this? Okay. So you can't promise anything doing the bars, but why is that a problem? What do you expect?
Si tu parles d'enthousiasme, ça baisse mon enthousiasme. Enfin, je réduis mon enthousiasme.
If I talk about enthusiasm, I reduce my enthusiasm.
Okay. So what's your question?
J'essaie de répondre à la question de tout à l'heure. Est-ce que tu as de l'enthousiasme? Oui.
If at the question you asked a while ago, do you have enthusiasm? Yes,
Yes.
Mais je le baisse
but I reduce it
quand je parle avec mes clients
when I talk to my customers, my clients,
parce que le résultat leur appartient aussi. Et que je ne peux-
because the result belongs to them as well.
Si je vends des cacahuètes grillées et qu'elles sont excellentes et ça ne dépend pas de moi.
If I sell peanuts and they're very good and tasty, it doesn't depend on me.
Okay, so what expectations and projections do you have of yourself, your business, and your clients that if you didn't have them would change your entire story and create a completely different reality? And everything at that is times a Godzillion where you destroy and uncreate it. Right and wrong, good and bad, pock and pot, all night, shorts, boys and beyonds. Look, I'm really grateful you're bringing this up because the funny thing is, how many of you out there have a similar thing that in some way you relate to this? This is the reason why you're not creating something more. The reason why you are enthusiastic and then you go, oh no, I better not be too enthusiastic. And it's like, what if you didn't care? And not in the sense of like, petulant, I don't care. And it's like, what if what somebody else received from you didn't create your reality? What would you choose? I mean, in truth, like when I used to do classes, I used to come and I'd look at who was coming and I would try so hard to make sure that they got every single tool from the book and they were getting it and they were like, you know, and I'd stay up at night thinking, oh, what else could I do for this person? And it was like, it was driving me crazy. Until finally I remember Gary said something to me and I went, oh, you know what? If someone walks out with one tool, then you're a success. And it's like people will receive what they receive when they choose to receive it. You cannot make someone receive your service, your product. You know, you can't make your clients receive bars the way you would like them to receive bars. And it's like everybody receives different. And it's like, so if you have expectations or projections of what your business has to look like or what you have to, what you are in business or what your clients receive, you'll end up destroying it and you will, you know, cut off your enthusiasm and your level of receiving and your money and everything that is times a Godzillion where you destroy and uncreate it. Right and wrong, good and bad, pock and pot, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. What would happen if you were your enthusiastic self every moment of the day? Every person you spoke to? I mean, how many times does someone try and project something at you that is designed to bring you down? Designed to destroy your business rather than actually be more. This reality doesn't function like that. But what if your reality was completely different? So everything that is times a Godzillion where you destroy and uncreate it. Right and wrong, good and bad, pock and pot, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. Okay. Do you have anything else there? I'm not sure if I...
J'ai compris.
I understood.
Okay, cool.
Merci.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah.
Hi, Simone. I'm Louise.
Hi.
Hi. So I have a question related to what I'm willing to be for my businesses. I can see during the last couple of years that businesses show up when I ask, hey, it could be great to do something with this, and then it shows up. And I also noticed that I go along with it a little while, and then I sort of stifle it. Like when the flow stops, and when I check in with it, I can really see that it's like, I'm doing fine if you take your foot off my face, or like I just do it consistently with different like entities or whatever creations showing up in my life. I'm just like, what can I do different there? Like
Well, you said it right at the beginning. What energy are you unwilling to be? So what energy are you unwilling to be with your business that if you were it, would change everything? And it's like, what if you were willing to be, like, let's look at some of this. What if you were willing to be the energy of allowance with your business and with you? What would you choose? What if you were willing to be the energy of vulnerability with you and your business? What would you choose? What if you were willing to be in the energy of trust with you and your business? What would you choose? And it's like not trusting that everything's going to be A-okay. It's like trusting that whatever occurs, you're going to keep choosing. You're going to keep choosing something else, choosing something else, choosing something else, choosing something else. Okay? Because each choice will create a different possibility. I mean, I like to look at it like a tree. You know, I mean, some of these trees at the moment, I think they're so beautiful with no leaves. I've always think that trees with no leaves just look stunning. And you can see all the branches. I mean, if you look out there and it's like the branches and then the little branches and then the branches of the branches, every single one of those is a possibility. But if you don't choose, you can't see the branches. You can't have them. You'll just have a trunk. Okay? But every time you make a choice, there's a different branch with a whole lot of other possibilities. And then you make another choice, and there's a branch with a whole lot of other possibilities, and another choice with a branch with a whole lot of different possibilities. That's how it works. And it's like, so what if you decided you have to get right in business, that if you didn't have to get it right, you would have this tree of possibilities. And everything at that is times a Godzillion, where you destroy and uncreate it. Yeah. Right and wrong, good and bad, pock and pot, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. Look, honestly, I don't know how to, like, business is the one thing that I see that people always have to take either serious, make it significant, or get it right. You don't. If you start a business this week, when can you leave it? When can you quit?
Anytime.
Exactly. If you have one business, how many businesses are you allowed to have?
I get 4.
4? No, seriously, how many businesses do you think you can handle? I mean, I always use the analogy of if you've got a Mac, you know what I'm talking about with the sticky notes. What if every single sticky note you had up, every single program, document you had up was the amount of revenue streams you had? And each one of those revenue streams is a different business. But how many of you think that you can only handle one, or you're told you can only handle one? You know what, that's a lot of work what you've got with that business there. I'm not sure you're going to be able to handle that. You have to put in some long, hard hours, and you're thinking, really?
Yeah.
It's like, what if you had many, many revenue streams that could create more for you than you've ever imagined possible? It's actually possible. So everything that is, and everywhere that you think I'm just like crazy Looney Tunes and everything I'm saying is completely not possible, will you please destroy and uncreate it?
Yes.
Right and wrong, good and bad, pock and pot, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. And be that level of enthusiasm that you were as a kid, that you know you are, that level of demand. I mean, I was talking to someone outside who was saying, oh, I hope to get to Costa Rica. And then she goes, oh no, I'm going to Costa Rica for the 7-day. And I'm like, cool, that's the energy that you need to be with everything. Not, oh, I hope one day I'll get there. I hope one day I'll create my own business. I hope one day I'll have enough money in the bank account. I hope one day, and it's like, you know what, hope springs eternal. What demand could you be making today that changes your whole reality and your whole business and your whole money and cash flows? And it's your choice. It's not anybody else's. It's your choice. So everything that is times a Godzillion, where you destroy and uncreate it. Yeah. Right and wrong, good and bad, pock and pot, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. How many dinner parties or gatherings do you go to where people stand around and talk about how great they're doing? Oh my God, I've got so much money this month. I've made so much money. My credit cards are all paid off and I've got this excess amount of money, not sure what to do with it. I've got businesses coming out my ears, it's fabulous. Or do people stand around and talk about their credit card debt, the debt of their business, the struggle, the trauma and drama of it all, the, oh my God, we're only just surviving. But you know what, we managed to pay the bills last month, so, you know, big tick for us, you know. And it's like, what if the next time, no matter what situation you're in, when you hear that chatter, you be different and go, you know what, I'm doing great. I've got at least 5 to 10 businesses in the works. It's like, you know what, all these revenue streams that are popping up, I've made so much money this month, I've made more money than I've ever made before. And it's like, and you start to demand that energy and that level of enthusiasm. What would you change?
I would probably keep on having it, because what I get is that I start off like, way for the joy of it, and then I smack it in the face, among other things that I do with it, with expectations of, you have to make me money now, otherwise I won't survive.
Yeah, I know. And it's like, how many people, like if you were hanging out with someone right, your best mate, and every time you saw them, they went, "Where's my money?
Exactly, yeah.
Why aren't you making me money? Have you been, I don't care if you're tired, if you want to sleep. You need to make me money. What's going on?"
Yeah.
And it's like, and you yell at it. It's like, you get angry and cranky at it.
Stomp it in the face.
And then you wonder why your friend doesn't want to be around you anymore.
Yeah.
How many of you are treating your business like that? Way too many. Everything that is where you destroy and uncreate it.
Yes.
Right and wrong, good and bad, pock and pot, all night, shorts, boys and beyonds. For 1 week only, I would like you to make your business, whether you actually have a business or not, because it could just be this creative, generative idea that you're too fucking scared to get out there in the world because you think you're going to fail. Okay, it could be an idea, it could be a business, it could be a project, it could be anything. What I want for 1 week is for you to treat it the way it should be treated. Okay? Honor it, trust that where it's going is going to lead you somewhere great. Be grateful for it. Be an allowance of it. Ask it questions. Don't demand that it works 24/7 either. Go, "Hey, do you require anything of me today? Do I require anything of you today?" It's not like, "Oh my God, we're up, quick coffee, let's go." It's like, what if you actually had this space of consciousness? 2 clearings. What energy, space and consciousness can you and your business be that would allow you to employ the universe for all eternity? Everything that is times a godzillion, we destroy and uncreate it. Yeah. Right and wrong, good and bad, pocket pot, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. Second one, what energy, space and consciousness can you and your business be? And when I say business, like I said, it could be an idea, a project, revenue stream, anything, okay? What energy, space and consciousness can you and your business be that would allow you to employ this reality for all eternity? And everything that is times a godzillion, we destroy and uncreate it. Yes. Right and wrong, good and bad, pock and pot, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. Okay, so what have you just done? For all you people out there who think you can't afford to employ anyone, because that's something I hear a lot, you've just employed the universe and you've just employed this reality. What if business was easy?
Yeah.
Everything that is times a godzillion, we destroy and uncreate it.
Yeah.
Right and wrong, good and bad, pock and pot, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds.
Thank you. When you talk, I mean, and this is a different subject, and I know you said it before, like the link between business and life, like the way you talk about, suggest that I be with my business or we be with business, it's like, oh, I could actually be that with myself too, and that would create a difference, like the allowance and because that's how I be with me. Get up, coffee.
I mean, one of the tools that we talk about in Access Consciousness is do something for 1 hour a day and 1 day a week that nurtures you. Okay, what if you did that with your business as well? Okay, business, what's 1 hour a day and 1 day a week that we could do something that nurtures you? Okay, your business is an entity.
Yeah.
It's like, it's a life force of its own. Are you allowing it to be that life force? And way too often I see people too, just when the business is about to explode and bring you all that money and that joy and that enthusiasm that you've been asking for, you kill it. Because A, you couldn't handle being that successful, the judgments, the whatever that is. Also, you can't find it anymore. It's not the way you had it before. Quite often when a business becomes this space, and it's like, you're like, where is it? What happened? Well, what if it didn't have that solidity anymore? What if it didn't have that solid place anymore, that you have to be in the struggle, and you have to be in the trauma and drama, and the solving problems, and the fixing things? What if you allowed your business to become this space of infinite possibilities? And when it does, so many times people go, oh, it's not working. It's not working, it's just become way easier. So everywhere that you haven't allowed your business to be the space of consciousness and be that ease, joy and glory where you destroy and uncreate it.
Yes.
Right and wrong, good and bad, pock and pot, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. So on 3, can we destroy and uncreate all of our stories to do with business, okay? Because if I asked you all to write one down, I bet you could. It's like the trauma and drama of it, okay? So on 3, let's contribute to each other. All of those stories that you think you function from in business, we're going to change it on 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. A 4 for more, okay? This is from the space of energy, space, and consciousness, which is how you should be functioning in life and with your business, with your money and everything, okay? On 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Cool. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Oh, let it all out. Thank you. Miss Moira Bramley. Oh, we don't have a working mic for Moira. I think there's one on that table. No? Oh, there's 2 here.
Hello. Oh, it's working now. Thank you, Susie. I just need help formulating a question that I can ask to start with business. So I don't know if this is a conclusion, but I think I would really enjoy business. And I get what you say when you say, would you have way more of you? So
can you guys hear her?
Can you? Oh, no. Sorry. Okay. Am I just not talking loud enough?
I don't know if it's the mic, though, or the room.
Hello?
Brennan wants you to swallow.
So, oh, she's turned me up.
It's that easy, Moira.
So I'm not sure whether it's a conclusion or not when I get to, I think I would really love business, and I get when you say that it gives you way more of you. So when I go to what kind of business would I like to create, sorry, this is a bit long-winded, but it's like I've watched, the people that I've watched make a lot of money have done it for the money. And I get that Gary said today that money is not created. Is that what he said? Money is not created.
Money is not, well, you are the source of creation, not money. That's one thing I'll say.
Right.
I can't quote Gary today. I don't remember exactly what he said.
Okay. So when I go to I love business, it's really vague. It's really vague. And I'm not clear on, would I just do it for the money? Would I have to do something that... It just feels really mishmash messed up to me, and I don't even know what question to ask. The question I would like to ask is, I'd like to make shitloads of money, having fun, that I wouldn't make too many mistakes on and lose too much money.
Say that last part again?
That I wouldn't make too many mistakes on and lose too much money.
Too many mistakes?
Mistakes and lose too much money. Because I've watched so many people make really big mistakes.
So I'm not sure if all of you heard that, but one of the things Moira was saying was she'd like to do something that was totally fun, that she could make lots of money from, but she also wouldn't want to do mistakes to lose the money. Okay?
Yeah.
Basically? Yep.
Yeah.
All right. So how many of you are not choosing what you truly like to choose based on, oh shit, what have I lost it? It's a little crazy, isn't it? So everything at that is times a Godzillion, we destroy and uncreate it.
Yeah.
Right and wrong, good and bad, pock and pot, all nine shorts, boys and millions. How many dates would have you gone out with by now if you'd actually asked someone if they'd like to go out? But you go, no, they won't go out with me, so I'll just keep walking on by. Same sort of thing, and it's like, what if all of the businesses you didn't have to succeed? And it's like, what if you decided success is? Is it money?
Yeah, well, that's that's what my life has been. I've watched so many people lose shitloads of money and end up what they term as destitute.
What they call as what?
Destitute.
Destitute.
Yeah.
Okay, so but is that your reality?
I know, but I've bought it. Bought it, okay. And I've been wired again and again and again that I would fail.
Okay, so that's another story though. That's the thing. It's like how many of us are locked in our stories of even the future? The business you won't create because of the story that you've already created that would happen or could happen, but might never happen. So everything at that is times a Godzillion, we destroy and uncreate it. Yes. Right and wrong, good and bad, pock and pot, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. What if you did business for the joy of it? Like literally, it's like, like I was saying before, it's like you are the source of creation, not money, okay? Money is great, it's fun, and it's like, trust me, I went through a long stage of refusing to have it, or I would have it, but I would still create debt, And then I would ask for money to show up, but I'd justify why I could have money because I was going to do good things with it. And I had all of these things. And then finally, Dane here said to me one day, why don't you just have the money that you're creating? So I was like, I bought a friend a car, I'd take people skiing, I'd do all this stuff, and it was like trying to spend it on everybody else to make sure that they were having fun with my money. Until I finally went, oh. And I sat there and Dane goes, why aren't you just willing to receive the money? And I had to look at it and go, oh, okay, so if I was just willing to receive the money I'm making, then what would I choose? And a whole lot of energy comes up. So I spent I used the tools and pocked and pawed everything that created that energy and created me to refuse to be that energy. And
So am I correct? I'm willing to receive the money. It seems to be the joy of business that I think would be very difficult to find for me or something.
So what do you love to do?
That's just blank, totally blank.
Do you love to do body work?
Yeah, I haven't developed it to this extent that it could be as joyful as I know it could be. I haven't, yeah.
I can't hear you.
Sorry. Yeah, but there's not enough money in that.
Okay, so everything that is, we're destroying and uncreated. How many of you have something that you love to do, but like Moira, I'm making it generic so that we can...
Yeah, totally.
Like Moira, you say, yeah, but there's not enough money in that. Another reason and justification of why you're not choosing to do something that you absolutely love. So everything that is times a godzillion, we destroy and uncreate it. Right and wrong, good and bad, pock and pot, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. So the thing that happens with that is, though, you've concluded what it's going to look like. You've concluded what it cannot look like. Rather than any business. And it's like, I mean, there was a famous woman who made cookies. And she made, it might be Mrs. Field, and it's like, I mean, I know she did make them, but but she was making cookies, and then the business got bigger and bigger and bigger, and it's like this multi-billion-dollar business. And it's like Burt's Bees, the woman who made the, the lip gloss and the moisturizer and stuff. And it's like she was making it for friends, and then she started selling it online, and then she got offered people to, for her to retail it and put it in shops, etc. And she said no, because she didn't feel comfortable with it, and she kept selling it online and online and online. She eventually sold it for like a $9 billion business or something. But she just liked mixing the lip balm and stuff in her kitchen. She didn't think, oh, this is a business I'm going to create and sell it for billions of dollars later. So it's like, what business are you refusing to create from the joy of it that could create you billions? And if you don't make it about the money, I'm sorry, I guarantee you money will show up. Everything that is times a godzillion, we destroy and uncreate it. Right and wrong, good and bad, pock and pot, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. I think I'm a little strange. I've never actually really done anything for money. Even when I was like a kid or whatever, it's like the creation was always what appealed to me. So how many of you are actually more seduced by the creation rather than the money, and yet you conclude that it's about the money, so then you're trying to find what's actually going to bring you X amount of money rather than actually choose what brings you joy. And there's this constant stream of conclusions and limitations and projections and expectations and stories of why you can't create something. Everything that is times a godzillion, where you destroy and uncreate it. Right and wrong, good and bad, pock and pot, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. I mean, is it at all real to you how creative you are? There's something that you're all great at. I mean, like I said, look at when you were a kid. What did you like to create? And why did you stop? What if that was the energy of the joy of business? What if that was the energy of you being you and you being willing to receive more? Just like, you could give anything a go, anything. You don't have to have the right papers, the regulations, the degree, I mean, how many of you don't do something because you don't have money to start it? Use money as a justification for not starting a business. What if you just started First thing you can do is talk to the person next to you and go, hey, guess what? I've got this business that I'm making money from. And it's like, tell the business what it's doing. And just create it. Creation is like this little speck. It's an idea, that generative energy that you go, oh, you've all done that. You've gone, oh, I know. And then what do? You start thinking about it. And you start destroying it. So everything that is, and all the places that you've absolutely destroyed, all of your future possibilities, can we ask them to actually show up now, to physically actualize in this reality, right now? And everything it doesn't allow it to show up, can we destroy and uncreate it on 3? 1, 2, 3. Okay, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Right and wrong, good and bad, POC and POD, all 9 shorts, boys and beyonds. So, yeah. Did you have...
Sì, buonasera, ciao, sono Maria.
Maria alone?
Intanto ti volevo ringraziare perché da 2 anni che ho il tuo libro e molte cose sono cambiate nel mio mondo.
It's on.
Okay. First of all, I want to thank you because I bought your book 2 years ago and my world totally changed.
Lo porto sempre con me.
I always bring it with me on Kindle.
Allora, ti volevo fare una domanda.
I'd like to ask you a question.
Ho avuto un po' di problemi in questo periodo con il mio business.
I had
simili a quelli di un esempio che tu fai sul libro.
like an example you give in your book.
Di una signora che lavora col bodywork, io lavoro col bodywork, che avendo dei giudizi sui suoi clienti ha visto ridurre il numero degli affari.
There was a woman who was working with Bodyworks, and since she had some judgments about her clients, she saw her business grow down.
Perché lei diceva sempre quello che ho detto io negli ultimi tempi, voglio solo trattare persone coscienti e consapevoli.
And she always said, I just wanna work with conscious and aware people, and that's why, and that's the same thing that I'm saying.
Sorry, what was the woman saying? That she just wants to
She
what?
just wanted to work with conscious and aware people, clients. Conscious and aware clients.
To create consciousness.
Ho fatto la pulizia.
She just wanted conscious clients.
Conscious clients. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Thank you.
Ho fatto la
Got it.
pulizia come c'era consigliato sul libro.
I did the clearance, as you suggested in the book.
Che come puoi ricevere soldi da qualcuno quando non riesci a ricevere ciò che è?
How can you receive money if you cannot receive what is?
Okay, I didn't get that.
How can you receive
Okay,
money
can you put the mic just slightly away from you because it's got
like
a,
this?
Yeah.
It's better?
Yeah. Thank
Okay.
you.
How can you receive money if you cannot receive what is?
How can you receive money if you cannot receive what is?
Yes.
Le cose sono migliorate molto.
If you can't receive them.
Okay.
How can you receive money from someone if you can't receive them?
Oh, well, it's actually not that easy. Thank you, Cass. It's not that easy to receive money from them if you can't receive them. And it's like, I think the part that you're referring to in the book is, it's basically like if you've decided that you are only going to have, you're a facilitator and you're only going to have people that show up to your classes that are choosing consciousness. Well, your classes are probably going to be pretty small. Sorry. But it's like, you might want to actually ask for people who are willing to pay you money, willing to make you laugh. And it's like, what if you included everything? Because if you have a point of view that you're only going to receive money or you're only going to have clients that are a certain way, then you've just cut off a whole lot of other people. Like say you only like doing business with men or you only like doing business with women, then you've just cut off half of the race. And then you don't end up receiving from them. What if you're willing to receive money from everyone? No matter if they were young, old, poor, rich, gay, straight, white, black, whatever religion they are. And it's like, if you're willing to receive everything and everyone, then you'll receive way more in your business. So everything that is and everywhere that you've decided that your business, I mean, you know when you hear those things and people say, oh, what's your, what's the word? Your, yeah, I'm looking for not market, but that'll do. No, not target. Niche. No, not niche. Sort of your genre. Like who's your business for? Yeah. So no, sorry, it's another word. But anyway, enough of the game charades. What I'm trying to say is, it's like, how many times, like everyone always used to say to me with one of my businesses, Good Vibes for You, oh, well, like, who's your clientele? Who likes it? And I was like, anyone who's living, anyone who's willing to choose it. And it's like, but we go, oh, it's 15 to 35-year-old women.
Your market segment, that's what you want, I think.
Yeah, no, it's not actually. It's another word, but that's okay. It's okay. It's all right. I think we got the energy of it. We're good. Thanks, guys. Like, and one of the things I remember when I was at a festival once, and I had these stickers, and they had all these different things that I, sort of felt like if someone read them, that it might change their life, like maybe inspirational, etc. Now, and everyone always tried to get me to put my business into, this realm of who would like it. And that's when I was always saying, it's for anyone who would choose it. And it's like anyone who wants to change, anyone who wants to be inspired. And I remember one day at this expo, this festival I had, a guy came up, and he had long hair, leather pants on, leather jacket. He had the name of his bike gang, a Jack Daniels t-shirt on. He looked like he hadn't showered in a few days, like greasy, that really rugged sort of look. And he comes up and he's looking at the stickers, and he picks this sticker out, and it says, "Be the change you want to see in the world." And I was like, oh, cool. And I said, where are you going to put that? And he's like, on the back of my bike. And I was like, cool. And it's like, if I had decided that my business was for, 12 to 30-year-old women, or maybe a couple of men in there, then that would have totally disregarded him, and he might not have even seen the product. Because you create this energy around, it's for 12 to 30-year-old women or something like that. And then this guy walks along, this bikie guy walks along, and he doesn't even see the stand because you're not willing to receive that energy. You've decided your business is not for someone like that. Rather than, what if your business was for everyone? And everything at that is times the Godzillion, where you destroy and uncreate it. Right and wrong, good and bad, pock and pot, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. Open the revenue streams up, So.
Dopo questa pulizia mi sono arrivati molti umani, che per me è un po' faticoso lavorare con loro.
After this clearing, a lot of humans came to me, and for me it's a bit difficult to work with them.
Come posso farlo? Come posso renderlo più leggero?
How can I make it more lighter? How can I make it lighter?
So a lot of humans come to you, and how can you make it lighter? Have fun with it. It's like Steve Bowman, if you haven't met him, in Melbourne, Australia, is one of my favorite people who works with a lot of in businesses, corporate CEOs, etc. And he goes, oh, it was so much fun today. You should have seen it. Table full of humans. I fucked with them big time. And it's like, what if that was the energy of how you were? And it was like, what if you had fun with it? And it's like, how can you use it to your advantage? What if you had fun with all of your clients? What if you had fun with whoever they were? A judgmental asshole walks in there and it's like, okay, how can I have fun with this? What would it take for him to give me way too much money? What would it take for me to receive it? And everything that doesn't allow that to show up, destroy and uncreate it. Right and wrong, good and bad, pock and pot, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. Rather than how many of you go, oh, actually this guy's being judgmental asshole. She's so human, he's so human. God, I just wish they'd leave. Rather than, okay, how much money can they give me? Can they increase my business? How much can I sell them? You know what, you need 3 of them. If you had another one of those, it would work better. This, add to it, have fun with it. Why not?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Anik?
I have a lot of people wanting to do business with me, but it's basically their idea, and I can see I'm going to be more of a service to them. And this is a bit of a pattern that I've been very much the accountant helping the managing director, but not managing my own business. How can I do a switch?
Okay, so the first thing I'd ask you is, what's your judgment of the current situation?
Well, I'm flattered, but I'm not interested.
Okay, so then why are you choosing it?
It's just people are. Oh, I see. Yeah. Okay.
So everything that is, where you destroy and uncreate it.
Yeah.
Right and wrong, good and bad, pock and pot, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. I mean, how many people judge what they're choosing?
Yeah.
Oh, you're the receptionist, the person who answers the phone.
Yeah.
And then you judge that you're the receptionist, the person who answers the phone.
Well,
and it's like, what if
yeah.
that was the beginning of the business? What if you were one of the most integral parts of it? You created like the business by the way you answered the phone and dealt with the clients. Or you're the person who does the filing, or you're the accountant, or you're the person on the camera. It's like, what if Hele decided that she's on the camera and Sabrienne's the one over there doing the little computer changing film things, and she decided, easy for me to say, decides that that's a less than job.
So that means if I just went with it, I could see what I like and what I don't.
Absolutely.
Fine, yeah.
If you're
that's
willing
better.
to receive whatever it is that you're currently creating
Yeah.
and not judge it, what could you create? What could you change?
Woo.
It's like, okay, how can I use this to my advantage? I have all these people who need me, who require my service. What service could I give that's going to create a totally different reality?
Wow, that feels good.
And everything at that is times a godzillion, we destroy and uncreate it. Right and wrong, good and bad, pock and pot, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds.
Thank you for helping me turn that around.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Thank you. We have a French lady here.
Another, yep. We'll go here, then here. Oh, it's the same.
Okay. Quand je commence un business, when I start a business, first it's very, very easy. It grows a lot.
Yep.
And then when I recognize that it's easy, or people told me that, oh, it's very easy for you, it stopped. And it became difficult, and it stayed like this.
Okay, so this is a common scenario, is that how many of you are great creators, you create this fabulous business, it's like expanding, it's becoming something fantastic, and then, I'm not sure which one you chose here, but it's like, then it's become successful, and then it sort of needs the maintenance or needs something, you know, to keep it going, and then you get bored, so you start to destroy it, or leave it, or, I mean, trust me, I've been there. I destroyed 3 very successful businesses because I was bored. Until I met Gary Douglas, and he said to me, you do realize you don't have to destroy a business to start another one, right? And I was like, oh, God, you're right. Because I love the creative side of it. I love the startup of a business. And it's like, ooh, how are we going to start this? What are we going to do here? And it's a talent to do that. There's a lot of people out there who have no idea how to start up a business, but they're excellent at maintaining one. They're excellent at increasing it. So what do you need to do? You've got connector, creator, mover. You need to figure out which one it is that you love and not judge it. And then when you become successful and it's flourishing, go, okay, what do I need to do now? Who can I get to manage this business? Can I sell it? And it's like, or get somebody else in that's extremely enthusiastic about running it, whatever that is. And then you can start something else as well. But recognize what it is you love in a business and don't judge it. And don't judge it when you don't enjoy doing something or being something. Get somebody else in there to do it. I mean, I'm a great one for, like, it's like, okay, if you're going to ask someone to do something and they haven't done it 3 times, they pretty much don't want to do it. So get someone else.
Okay.
And even with yourself. If you're asking yourself to do it 3 times and you don't do it, then do you actually want to do it? Or would you prefer it if somebody else did it? And it's not wrong. It's not a judgeable offense. It's like, move on. What if business was this whole, you know, pool of playing? And it's like, who else can I invite to play? And it's like, but how many of you are so busy being a control freak that you don't actually invite other people to play with you? And I don't mean you all have to go out and get a business partner. I just mean you need to ask the questions of who or what else could I add to my business? What could that look like? What could we create? Could be a system. Yeah. Could be an easier geographical location. It's like anything. But it's like if you're like, it must look like this, we can't change anything because this maybe is working or doing just working. And it's like, then what do you create? Boredom. I'm out of here. I'm going to destroy this business as fast as I created it, even faster. So everything that is and everywhere that you're currently destroying a very successful business or even an idea that you've decided won't work, but you haven't even done anything to put it into fruition, we destroy and uncreate it. Right and wrong, good and bad, POC and POC online, shorts, boys and beyonds.
Merci. Tu peux traduire? Et j'ai toujours, parce qu'en fait, j'ai toujours aussi l'impression que je dois faire tout ce que je sais faire, en fait.
I've always got the impression that I have to do everything that I can do myself.
Là où j'ai la capacité.
Wherever I have the capacity, I should be the one doing it.
What was the last part? Where she has the capacity?
She said, wherever I have the talent or the capacity, I should be the one doing it.
Right.
And not leave
no,
to someone
and
else.
you can do it from the choice of it, but you don't have to do it. You don't have to do your business all yourself. You've never had to. You're actually allowed to let people in to assist. If you're going to let people in to assist in your business, you also have to allow them to stuff up. They're not going to do it the way you're going to do it. Nobody ever does it the way you're going to do it. Okay? Nobody. Ever. 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 If I asked every single one of you to do something right now, you'd all do it completely different. That's how we are. So you've got to be willing to hire people who are going to do it different than what you do it and be an allowance of it. Okay? And then also allow them to stuff up. Because if they stuff up, then they will have that awareness forever. You might lose money, you might lose a client, I don't know, whatever it is. Things look different, but if you're willing to allow that to occur with people that you hire or people you include in the business, then it can actually create a far greater outcome. So what energy, space and consciousness can you and your business be that would allow it to expand exponentially? And everything that doesn't allow that to show up, we destroy and uncreate it. Right and wrong, good and bad, POC and POC online, shorts, boys and beyonds. So what energy, space and consciousness can you and your business be that would allow you to expand exponentially? And everything that is times a godzillion, we destroy and uncreate it. Right and wrong, good and bad, POC and POC online, shorts, boys and beyonds. One more time. What energy, space and consciousness can you and your business be that would allow you to expand exponentially? And everything that is times a godzillion, we destroy and uncreate it. Right and wrong, good and bad, POC and POC online, shorts, boys and beyonds.
Thank you.
Cool, you're welcome. Yeah.
Hi.
Hi.
Yeah, I think it's like kind of leaning onto that because I have like a few businesses going, and it's like so annoying that I have the awareness that it could be so big, and it's not happening, and I totally see it. Is it like what's going on there?
Okay, so what have you concluded should happen? Are you grateful for what you've currently created?
Not at all.
So you might want to start being grateful for what you've currently created, all of you. And it's like, how many of you have put a time span on it? It must be this by this time. Your business doesn't really function from that. So it's like, what if you were grateful for what you've created? And then from gratitude, and it's like, it can expand. I mean, like we were talking about right at the beginning, with your business being your new best friend. And it's like, but you're cranky at it because it's not over here. And it's like, you know what? I'm not grateful for you at all. I know you've been around, you've done this, you've helped me out, you've paid some bills and stuff, but you know what? You're not being what I want you to be. So everything that is times a godzillion, we destroy and uncreate it. Yeah. Right and wrong, good and bad, POC and POC online, shorts, boys and beyonds. Gratitude, you can create so much more. What if you're grateful for every cent, every euro, every dollar that you made, every client, every possibility? Instead of going, oh my God, I've only got 4 clients this week. You know what? I've got 4 really cool clients. How does it get any better than that? If you look at the difference in the energy of it, which one's going to create more?
Yeah.
The enthusiasm of, so grateful for these 4 clients, and even asking them, hey, do you know of anyone that might be interested in this class or interested in this stuff or this product? With no expectation, but asking them a question rather than, oh, I've only sold stuff to 4 people this week.
It's like almost blaming. I'm choosing bigger all the time and doing like more classes, traveling more and stuff like that. And I keep blaming like the businesses are holding me back because they're not.
Blaming the businesses are holding you back. That's a good one.
Because
I like that.
There's
That's
not
good.
enough money. So, and I keep creating and like, okay, I would like to choose that and that and that and that. But yeah, the businesses are not.
See, there's that best friend thing again.
Yeah.
Imagine that, your best friend. You're like, you know what? You're always holding me back. I hang out with you all the time. You're there all the time, but all you ever do is hold me back. Wow. not really someone that you want to hang out with. So everywhere that you're making your business your worst enemy, but it has to stick with you, yet you're hating every moment of it, or treating it like it deserves no respect whatsoever, where you destroy and uncreate it. Yes. Right and wrong, good and bad, pock and pot, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. So what energy, space and consciousness can you be to receive the business that you've decided is totally inconceivable? Inconceivable. And everything that is times a godzillion, we destroy and uncreate it. Right and wrong, good and bad, pock and pot, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. How many of you have decided that joy of business is inconceivable? Like it's beyond belief. It's out of the picture. It's pretty much non-existent. So everywhere that you've decided that joy of business, joy in business, is totally inconceivable truth, will you destroy and uncreate it? Yes. Even just for tonight? Right and wrong, good and bad, pock and pot, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds.
Yeah, so everywhere you have, okay, cool, haha. Everything you have decided is inconceivable for your, yeah, sure, it's gonna stay there.
Yeah. What if you were inconceivable?
So I'm not gonna have,
What if you were all inconceivable? What if your business was inconceivable? What inconceivable business could you create that you're not choosing to create because you've decided that it's totally inconceivable? Got that, translators? Everything that is times a godzillion, we destroy and uncreate it. Right and wrong, good and bad, pock and pot, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. Okay.
Thank you, and I really want to thank you also for the book that you have spoken. I so much love to hear you read
the audio.
the book. I love it. It's amazing. Thank
my
you.
Australian,
my
Australian accent. You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. So, did you have a question, or you just
Is that on? Yes. Hello. I run a successful online marketing business that teaches people to generate, say, $2,000 a month profit. What I'm struggling with is moving from the traditional mindset to an access mindset. Right? So I feel very honoured. I've been asked to host a DT in Manchester for a Business 101 course. So my question is, what questions do I need to ask to make that Business 101 course in Manchester with Fiona Cutts and I to be a success?
So, okay, it's not so much about like what questions can you ask to have it create the most success. It's more like what yes questions and what energy can you be. Because the thing is, I see people do a lot of the things as well. They go, oh, if I advertise over here, this will work. Or if I put a postcard on every seat, which we've done, that will work. Or it's like, or if I hand out these cards, that might work. Or if I go and talk to these businesses, that might work. What if none of it worked and it all worked? Because there's an energy that you create when you're willing to just go with your business. Which means putting a postcard on there, talking to someone, making a phone call, putting an advert in a newspaper. It could be anything. But if you're willing to just be that like, that massive amounts of energy, then you'll know. I mean, recently I got an editor in a magazine in Australia. I know her, and she wrote to me and said, hey, do you want to do 2 articles these 2 months running? I'll give you this price. And I went, yeah, cool, that sounds great. I don't expect anyone to come to my class based on that, but I looked at it and like in a nanosecond, you're like, oh, energetically, it just creates this space. So it's like if you're not looking for an outcome for something that you, which I know is totally not the marketing corporate world. So everything that is and everything that totally like twists any of your brains or heads where you destroy and uncreate it. Yes. Right and wrong, good and bad, pock and pot, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. Because it's the energy that you be. And it's the invitation you be. And especially with an access class and like with Business 101, I would even just keep it so simple to be like, it's like, would you like to change something in business? Okay. Would you like to make more money?
Okay.
You know, is what you're currently doing with business working for you?
Oh, yes.
And the interesting thing is the amount of people who go, oh, I can't come to your class because I actually don't have a joy of business. And is that a prerequisite? No. No, you just have to be willing to receive what's going on, ask questions, or they don't want to come because they don't own a business.
Okay.
So one of the things I always talk about too is if you wake up in the morning and you've got blood running through your veins, you're in business. Because your life is your business and your business is your life.
Okay.
Your family is your business, all of it. And it's like, so is it working for you? How are you running it? And it's like, what could you change? What could you create? So if you be that energy, and it's like, and then see what shows up, and you might get the hit. Oh yeah, let's put a flyer on every chair.
Okay.
Whatever that is.
Okay, it's also a balance between, say, the size of venue, the cost of the venue, for how many people are coming.
Yeah, how do you explain it? Because it's an interesting energy with that when people go, oh, I'm hiring a venue, I'm doing this, 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 and this, and it's cost this amount of money. One of the things that I would always ask is that you look at the future of your business. Because if you look at okay, so I'm doing this class, this is costing this amount of money for X, Y, Z, and it's like, and then you look at the money that comes in from it, it's way bigger than that. And it's like, so what future are you creating that you're not willing to acknowledge? And everything at that is times a God Z, and we destroy and uncreate it. Right and wrong, good and bad, pock and pot, all known, shorts, boys and beyonds. I mean, all of these books, translated, there's no way in the world that I've made my money back or made a profit on the selling of these books, or have I? I mean, some of the people who've come up to me and told me a story or how grateful they were for something or whatever that is, and it's like, to me, that's a huge success. And that creates a future for consciousness and the planet and the world, which matches the energy of what I would like to create. So from that, I am a success. And from that, the willingness to create more classes or have more joy business facilitators or whatever that is, will create a greater future and create, most probably, more money in the future as well. But it's not linear.
Okay, so the success is defined by just one person turning up and making a massive change in their business.
Well, success is different for everybody.
Okay.
So it's like, what is it for you guys? And it's like, I mean, how many of you have defined success by calibrating the amount of money you have in your bank account or the amount of money that shows up on one day? I mean, to me, like that festival I told you about with that bikie guy came up and brought that sticker, you know, be the change you want to see in the world, which is a Gandhi quote, and put it on the back of his bike. Like that was like a $10,000 expo I did. I would have had to have made like in the early 20s, you know, 20,000 to break even sort of thing once, you know, you looked at everything and calculated all of that. But to me, I have no idea what happened with that guy when he put the sticker on the back of his bike and drove off. And people reading that sticker, be the change you want to see in the world, that sort of effect around the world is what makes me smile and matches the energy of what I would like to see.
Brilliant, thank you.
So that's success for me. And that's what I mean, like I've just always created for the sake of creating because that's what I enjoy. And then the money ends up showing up.
Great, thank you very much indeed.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, I think we have time for one more question.
Yay. So I have a bunch of businesses and I all really enjoy them and
yay!
And it's really cool. Like I organize like dancing and singing and vocal coaching and speech therapy. The only thing I guess I'm not really creating or apparently somewhere I'm not willing to receive is money. So yeah, and I think I ask a lot of questions and like, is this a contribution and to me and to them? And
okay, so does this sound familiar to you and anyone else that you don't actually create for money?
Yeah.
And it's like one of the things that I realized years and years ago was when I had this business, Good Vibes for You, and I'd have these t-shirts and stickers and magnets and all this stuff, and you know, people would come up and they'd go, oh my God, I love what you're creating. This is awesome. Oh my God, I love this design, I love this. And I'd be like, oh, cool, thanks. And I was done. And then they'd go, oh, can I get one of those t-shirts or can I get this? And I'd go, yeah, why don't I give you 2 for the price of 1? Or I'll give you a discount, or I'll give you this. And it was so hard for me to instead go, oh, 2 t-shirts, that's $70.
Yeah.
And ask for the money. And Gary made me practice asking for the money. Because it was, so then I did, I literally had to practice. And I would drive along in my car, you know that movie with Tom Cruise and the other guy, and he's yelling out, and he's like, show me the money! I literally used to drive along in my car yelling that out, because I was like, I need to practice asking for money. Because that's one thing, I was, you know, you tell me how great everything is, you love this color, you love this design, oh, I'll create another one for you, and we can do this and we can do that, and you're like, yeah, done. So how many of you are done when your product, your service, or whatever it is, gets acknowledged?
Yeah.
And then you feel almost like a thief
Yeah.
when someone's paying you. So everything that is and everywhere that you think it's thievery for receiving money, will you destroy and uncreate it? All right and wrong, good and bad, pock and pot, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. So practice, okay? It's like a muscle.
Yeah.
So even when you do a session with someone, like say speech therapy or something, then you can say, hey, how are you paying for the session today?
Yeah.
How would you like to pay for the session? And it's done from this energy of like, it's an exchange. Because people pick it up as well. Like if you're like, oh yeah, that was great thing. And they're like, am I paying you now? And it's got this weird vibration about it. And then you also don't value whatever it is, the product or the service that it is.
Yeah.
So, but it is like a muscle, you need to practice asking for the money.
Yeah. So the thing is, like the speech therapy thing is covered by the insurance companies. So I actually declare by the insurance company, so people don't even really ever see any bills. And if I do charge something, there's like, ooh, could you put it on the insurance companies? And so I stopped doing that. Yeah. So, but how do I train that muscle of asking for?
Do what I did, and it's like yell out, show me the money while you're driving along in the car or whatever it is, or you're in the shower. And it's like, I mean, right now, and it's like most of you would have heard this tool. Actually, no, that's going to not make sense with 9 languages in the room. I was going to say, we all sound like a crazy room. If you actually say to yourself every morning, can I have the money now, please? 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 So if we all said that in all our languages, it would have sounded really full on in the room. So, but if you practice saying that, it's like what happens? You start to smile. You get this like lightness of being, and it's like, why? Because you're actually asking for money, you're asking to be valued.
Yeah.
What if you had more value than what you've been willing to acknowledge?
Cool.
And everything that is times a godzillion, where you destroy and uncreate it.
Yeah.
Right and wrong, good and bad, pock and pot, all nine, shorts, boys and beyonds. Yes. So show you the money. Cool.
Thank you.
Awesome. Okay, thank you so much everyone for coming tonight and on the live stream. Keep asking me, thank you. So we do have these postcards on every seat, I think. So I do have some classes coming up. I've got in Paris in April. Paris is the 8th to the 10th of April. It's for the Business 101 and Business 102. Then we've got Turkey prior from the 1st to the 3rd of April. And then also in Copenhagen in May. And if you want to become a Joy Business Facilitator, Copenhagen training is also in June. So but basically take one of these. If you want to know more, go check out the website.
And the book is for sale in the back of the room.
Yes. Oh yes, and the book is for sale in the back of the room.
The book is for sale in the back of the room in different languages, en français, in English, and other languages.
And I think Ilham, you might want to stand here. Or just down there.
Yeah, and I would like also to remind you that starting from next week, each Wednesday, we're having a Zoominar that is about the book. It's actually a Joy of Business book club, and we are going to discuss some topics about business, about the joy of business, and we're really inviting you all to join us. The event is on Facebook. It's going to be launched actually right after this class, and it is already there. I'm going to invite you all on Facebook.
In French.
It's in French actually, but anyway, if you are interested and you're not speaking French, don't hesitate to let us know and we can translate anyway.
Well, the French sounds so sexy anyway. You can just listen to the French.
And you can just listen to French, as Simone said. So
thank you.
We're really longing to see you there. Ok. Alors est-ce que ça a été traduit en français?
In French, of course.
Ok, fine. Merci.
Merci everyone. Bonsoir. Night.